Hey, what's up everybody? This is Super501 and today I want to go over what I think is the best build for what I think is one of the best weapons in this wipe, and that's the AK-101. And this thing is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm very surprised I have not seen more people running this. And also keep in mind, this is what I think is the absolute best build, but I'm going to be doing another video going over a more budget version of this gun because you can save a lot of money making a version of this gun that is only slightly worse. This build is probably not what I would be running most of the time, just because the difference between best and budget for this particular weapon is not a very big difference, but the price changes pretty heavily. So you're going to be getting yourself an AK-101, which also was only like 45k from the vendor, so very cheap. You're going to be putting a Bastion on it, then you're going to be putting whatever sight you want on it. I'm just going to be using an EOTech XPS-30 for normal gameplay, but something that's also really good for this weapon, and another reason why it's one of the best weapons of this wipe, is the AK-101 has a 994 muzzle velocity, and a lot of the 5.56 bullets can also fulfill that muzzle velocity. So this weapon is very easy to use at long ranges. In fact, I've gone over a video in the past where this is one of, if not the best weapons for Shooter Born in Heaven, just because you can use this weapon with M995 rounds to just be ridiculously accurate at very long ranges. So you can use any sniper sight you want on this, and it's still going to be very good for sniping. Then we're going to be using the AKCSS charging handle for some additional ergo. Then we're going to be using the RPK-16 buffer tube. Then on that, we're going to be having a Mo carbine stock. Then we're going to be having the Mo rubber butt pad on that. And then for the pistol grip, we're going to be using the AK Custom AGS-74, massive amounts of ergo from this. And then for the magazines, the best one, so the best out of the two, is going to be the SLR-106, or these kind of funky looking mags, but the other mag just gives one less ergo and is much more available. For whatever reason, these mags have actually been selling out quite a bit. Now, one other buff that these mags have over just the normal gray ones is that these also check 30% faster. Not the biggest of deals, and if you can buy these from the trader and they're not out of stock, they're still pretty cheap. Then we're going to be using the VS Combo handguard, which is where we're going to be putting all of our rails on. And then for the grip, we're going to be putting one of the 6-inch rails on it. There's two of them, just do whichever one is cheaper. Then we're going to be using the RK2. You don't use this on a ton of builds, but this weapon has good enough ergo, probably because you can only use 30 rounders to use it to get the lower recoil. Then we're going to be putting any of the rails on whichever side you want and putting any tactical device you want on it. I use the Bald R Pro, just my personal preference, but you can use whatever tactical device you want. Then finally, for the muzzle, adapter, and silencer, we're going to be using the AKCNC muzzle adapter. Then we're going to be using the G-Lock on that. Then we're going to be using the Griffin Armament silencer. And this is going to be the best suppressor for this weapon, for the best ergo and the best vertical recoil. And that is legitimately going to be the entirety of this build. Now, like I mentioned, this is going to be decently expensive, especially using this G-Lock and this suppressor and some of the other parts like the Mo stock with the butt pad and this pistol grip. But keep an eye out for the video where I go over a budget build for this weapon, because the stats you can get for how cheap you can get it for this particular weapon is absolutely ridiculous. So go build this thing, put a bunch of 5.6A1 or 5.5A1 in it, and you're going to be able to spray people down at pretty much any range very easily. The one and only downside of this weapon is the 30 rounders. You're going to have to play around only having 30 rounders, but every other part of this weapon is completely ridiculous. But that's pretty much all I want to go over. So subscribe if you want to see more EFT or other FPS videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment below what you guys think about this AK-101 build, and thanks for watching.
Бить аккуратно, но сильно. Зажмурен уже, сука! Замет, хоть хуйте замет! Нормас, нормас. Охуенно, черт поживите. Вон он! Пацаны, сейчас накроют нас!